Alright, welcome back to our weekly power rankings. As this is week 14, well, officially week 14, 4 more games, meaning, well, not 4 more games, 4 more weeks, meaning 4 more of these power rankings. The end of the season, it's coming soon, sadly, but let's just enjoy this week, and let's do some power rankings. So, typical number 32 spot. I know it went to the Raiders. It's going back to the Titans, only scoring a grand total of 3 points against the fucking Jaguars. The Jaguars are a good team, but they're not the greatest team. And honestly, them losing to the Jaguars and only scoring 3 points is not good. They were competitive against the Seahawks, but we can see that was all garbage time, and we kind of noticed that. At 31, we got the Raiders. They got rid of Chip Kelly, but that doesn't do anything. This team still sucks. This team is a disappointment, and honestly, they're probably tanking for a new quarterback. Overall, this team is completely dog shit, getting blown out by the Los Angeles fucking Chargers. Not very good. At number 30, we got the Giants. They got their ass kicked by the Patriots, and their kicker don't know how to kick a football, it looks like. You kick the ground. That's the ground. Not a football. Young Koo, who used to be on the Falcons, got cut, and then he went to the Giants. I wouldn't be surprised he gets cut, but the time we're filming this is 6 o'clock, and I highly doubt Koo hasn't got fucking cut yet. Overall, the Giants are completely dog shit. I know they look a little bit better, but overall, the Giants are just not a good team. At number 29, we got the New Orleans Saints. They lost to the Dolphins. Lost to my Dolphins. They could have won, but they didn't because they suck. And honestly, if the Saints were competent, I think they would have beat my Dolphins, sadly. But the Saints are so incompetent. They'll just go to tank, try to get a new quarterback. Even though that Tyler Shuck doesn't look that bad, he looks half decent out there, right? He looks half decent. So yeah, I'm gonna have the Saints at number 29. At number 28, we got the Jets. They beat the Falcons. And good for them. They still suck. And honestly, I hope they start winning though, because they're obviously not making the playoffs, meaning that they're just gonna be like mid. Meaning that they're going to have a terrible draft pick. Whew, I cannot wait to see that. The Jets continue winning. Actually, lose to the Dolphins and then just win out for the rest of the season. You go 7-10, and you guys get like a top. You guys probably pick 10th overall or something, maybe even higher. Maybe higher, like 12th or 13th, and you guys just get a bad player and you guys fall apart. And I know you guys got a lot of first-round picks. Mind you, too, that they're the Cowboys and Colts. From the Cowboys and Colts. And they're good teams. They're going to make the playoffs. Meaning that they're going to be in the 20s. So, Jets, you kind of just screwed yourself here. I love it. At number 27, got the Cleveland Browns. They got blown out by the 49ers. But Shadow Sanders looks half decent. It's way better than Dylan overall. This Browns team is not terrible, but they could improve a little bit more. So I am gonna have the Browns at 27. At number 26, we got the Minnesota Vikings. I never knew I would have the Vikings this low, but wow. And didn't I say at one point they were a top 3 team with that wall still do? Max Bosmeyer, who is somehow worse than J.J. McCarthy through 4 interceptions. 4 fucking interceptions? Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Fucking ridiculous, dude. I have never seen a quarterback worse than JJ, and yeah, we did. 4 interceptions, 0 touchdowns. And they got shut out too. So the Vikings, they're a disaster class. They're gonna probably get a good draft pick. I don't know. They should get a new quarterback, honestly, at this point. Maybe actually sign a veteran quarterback. Make him sit behind JJ. Well, make JJ sit behind him and then see what happens. That could work. At number 25, we got the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons, they lost to the fucking Jets. And the Jets, they're not a good team. They lost to them. I don't know how. I don't know how the fuck you lose to the Jets, but you do. And when you lose to the Jets, you're obviously moving down a lot in the power rankings. So yeah, I have the Falcons at 25. At 24, we have the Arizona Cardinals. Now, last time I checked, I think the Cardinals they were at 26 last week. But honestly, the performance against the Buccaneers wasn't too terrible. And I have to move them up because the Vikings and Falcons just had totally different experiences last week. Meanwhile, the Cardinals played pretty tight against the Buccaneers. They're still losing one-score games. They're not the worst team. The record looks bad, but honestly, Jacoby Brissett is just looking elite out there. Other than that, yeah, the defense is terrible. So yeah. Number 23, we got the Washington Commanders. This team is killed by injuries, and yeah, overall this team's screwed. But Trayvon Brooks with that one-handed catch, damn, that was fun to watch. Commanders are not total disaster class, but their injuries and their old rosters making this team a little bit bad. So yeah, I have to have them at 23. At 22, sadly moving down a spot is the Miami Dolphins. They got that win against the Saints. That performance against the Saints was terrible. And there was a lot of other teams that did better than the Dolphins. And I just, some teams I can't even put the Dolphins over, man. I'm looking at this list, yeah. I'm not going to give any spoilers, but the Dolphins are a good team. But they're going to make that playoff push, but maybe they can win against the Jets, can potentially move them up. Maybe the Steelers. They gotta be a real team. I have to admit it. The Dolphins. I can't be super delusional about that, but I'm gonna say that the Dolphins are miles ahead better than the Washington Commanders. I'm just gonna say that. At number 21, we got the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals, well, looking like it's 2024 again. They're gonna make a playoff one. With a 10 times more difficult schedule. So good luck with that. Yeah, the Bengals, though, they got Joe Burrow back. They beat the Baltimore Ravens. And they beat the... Well, they didn't beat, but they got T. Higgins is going to be back, hopefully, and Jamar Chase is here. So the big three's back. They got to face on Buffalo. It's not a terrible opponent. Like, I mean, it's pretty easy, but other than that, the Buffalo Bills might be a decent opponent. But overall, the Bengals, they're looking like they're going to lock in. So I'm going to put the Bengals at 21. At number 20, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers. This team is probably fucked. Aaron Rodgers, it's a big question mark now, as he is probably going to be out for a little bit, which is not a good thing at all. And honestly, we should be concerned. Mason Rudolph is not that good either way. So yeah, I'm gonna put the Steelers at 20. They're not good, but I mean, it just depends on Rodgers too. But sucks that the Steelers are like this, but they're probably gonna suspect another 500 record, so I wouldn't be surprised. At number 19, we got the Buffalo Bills. This team's fraudulent. Good. They beat the Steelers. They beat a winning team. Ooh, yeah. They play fucking Mason Rudolph. That doesn't do anything. The Bills are still fraudulent. They're still not a good team. That's what I'm talking about. The Bengals, they're probably gonna beat the Bills, but let's see. I guess they're playing Buffalo, so it's a tough environment. But either way, Buffalo, they're still a fraudulent team. If they do make the playoffs, they're probably going to get blown out by an actual NFL team, which usually the AFC is pretty much wide open at this point. All these teams are pretty fraudulent. And hopefully we do see some of these teams coming up in the playoffs, like the Kansas City Chiefs. This team is cooked. The Kansas City Chiefs might actually be cooked. They lost to the Cowboys, so 6-6. The playoff is in big jeopardy right now. If they lose again, this team, they're dropping down and they're pretty much done in the playoffs, which sucks because we need the Chiefs. The AFC playoff is gonna be horrible this year. It's gonna be bad, because legit no Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. Damn. So yeah, the Chiefs, they lost to the Cowboys. Honestly, though, the Cowboys are starting to become a good team, so I don't blame the Chiefs that much. But still, the Chiefs needs to step it up a lot. They're 6-6, playoff and big question mark. they can figure it out. They can definitely do something, but for now, I'm gonna have the Chiefs at number 18. At number 17, we got the Baltimore Ravens. Just like the Chiefs, still playoff implications in the question mark too. The only difference is that they're probably going to win the division, as Aaron Rodgers is probably injured for the Steelers. The Bengals are probably going to lose. I feel like one more game. They're 8-9. They'll probably they have a losing record. They'll probably be out, and the Browns are the Browns. So not the Falcons. The Ravens do have a good shot of making the playoffs. So, but they'll still like that loss to the Cincinnati Bengals was so bad. Lamar Jackson too. His last 3 games been absolutely terrible. I made a video on it. So I mean it's disappointing for the Ravens, but hopefully they do improve. But come on, we gotta see Lamar Jackson in the playoffs too. We can't just have Josh Allen in the playoffs. Ugh. Imagine if all of those full teams just make it in the playoffs somehow. Damn. At number 16, we're going to have the Los Angeles Chargers. This team is still fraudulent. Good for them. They beat the Raiders. Justin Herbert's also having surgery on his hand. So I don't know how long it's going to be out. That's in jeopardy, which can deeply affect playoff implications. Hopefully it's not horrible for Justin Herbert, but for now I have to have the Chargers at 16. At number 15, we got the Carolina Panthers. They beat the Rams, which is insane. I never knew that was gonna happen, but I guess it did. The Panthers are so inconsistent, but they're 7-6. I don't know whether to say this team is good or not. So that means I have to have them in that like low tier 15. I can't have them high on it as there is. At number 14, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They played a close game against the Cardinals, but good news. Apparently, Mike Evans trying to make a return, and a lot of the other players are coming back, so that's good. Bucky's back. So this team is slowly getting healthy, which is good. Which is something what we need by the Buccaneers, because they want to make that playoff push. Yeah, it's a tight race between the Bucks and Panthers, but I feel like the Bucks might still hold the division. Again, it's going to be a very close race between those two. Buccaneers are getting more healthier, which means the Buccaneers might start moving up a little bit more. At number 13, we got the Detroit Lions. They managed to lose to the fucking Packers. They got swept. The offense looks good, but Amon-Ra St. Brown is out. Well, he got injured. So, which is not a good thing for the Lions, and the Lions gotta do something. They can't just, fall apart completely. So, yeah, the Detroit Lions, I'm gonna put them at 13. At number 12, we got the Dallas Cowboys, and holy fuck, this team is good. They started off 3-5 with no playoff implications, and overall, this team was not supposed to be super good. But instead, they're bouncing back, and they're trying to make a playoff run. So, yeah, I'm going to have the Dallas Cowboys at number 12. They're going to be a good team. They're trying to make that final playoff push. They might win the division because the Eagles might start falling apart. At number 11, we have the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans are on a 5-game heater right now. Well, 5-game? No, 4-game. I don't know. They're on a good winning streak, though. They're on a high winning streak. They're a very good team, and they're going to continue probably winning. They're trying to get to the playoffs. Honestly, that's pretty good for the Texans. Texans, though, showing off a very good team, though. They have one of the best defenses in the NFL, and C.J. Stroud got to start playing better, too, because, honestly, Davis Mills might take his job, because Davis Mills, he has been pretty good this year, and it could be a big risk for C.J. Stroud to get benched, but I highly doubt it. C.J. Stroud's going to stay. At number 10, we got the Eagles. The Eagles, they're collapsing. The Chicago Bears absolutely dominated them. Sadly, not sadly, but sadly, yeah, the Eagles, they're going to start collapsing. This is kind of like the 2023 Eagles. I have this team probably missing the playoffs, but who knows? The Eagles might turn it around. They do have an easy schedule. Like, they got the Chargers, which could be an easy win. The Raiders on definite win. I think they faced the Bills, and they faced the Commanders twice. So it's not a bad schedule. I feel like the Eagles can step it up a bit, but for now, I have to have the Eagles at number 10. At number 9, got the Colts. This team is slipping down every single week. They'll just, going down. At one point, I had this team at 1, and now they're at 9. So I don't know, man. That's not good at all to see the Colts that low. But because how bad that was. They lost to the Texans. This team's been cooled off. They only have 1 win in the last 5 games. So overall, it's not been good for the Colts. So yeah, I have to have them at number 9. At number 8, I have the Jacksonville Jaguars. Somehow this team is number 1 in the division. As they BTA the Titans. The Titans are a very bad team, so it makes sense. But the Jaguars, they're starting to cook a bit. They might actually win the division. Maybe the Texans might sneak up. But for now, I have the Jacksonville Jaguars going. Probably winning the division, who knows? But yeah, I have to have them at 8. They do have a pretty easy schedule, so I mean that's pretty good. But overall, yeah, the Texans, they're gonna be at number 8. At number 7, we got the San Francisco 49ers. They BT the Browns. And the Browns, they're an ant team. They're not the greatest team, so yeah, I have to have the 49ers at 7. They're a pretty good team. They're a very good team. They're getting a little healthy, but yeah, they'll probably make the playoffs and continue. At number 6, we got the Rams, and honestly, how the fuck do you lose to the Panthers? This team was once at number 1. Now they're all the way at number 6, yeah. And somehow, again, they get dominated by, well, not dominated, they lose to the Panthers. How? I don't know. I don't know how. It is what it is, I guess. The Rams still going to be at number 6. I have to have them at 6. At number 5, we got the Green Bay Packers. They beat the Detroit Lions, and this team's looking good. Guess what time it is, too? December. Guess who plays well in December? Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers. This team plays very well in December until the big games, and then they start collapsing again. But overall, the Packers, they're going to start cooking. So honestly, the division's in big jeopardy right now. But honestly, it's just a race between the Bears, which you'll see on here very soon, and the Packers. I think the Lions are out of it, man. It sucks, but it is what it is. And then the Vikings, yeah, they're collapsing. At number 4, we got the New England Patriots. This team is just lucky. They have a fucking cupcake schedule. They're just gonna win games. They lost to they beat the fucking living hell of the Giants. The Giants could have won if the referees were doing their jobs. If Young Wei Koo knows how to identify a football and not a field. Kicking a actual football, not a fucking field. So yeah. The Giants could have won this game, but instead, no, it went to the Patriots because the referee's on their side now, and because the cupcake schedule, and I think it's complete bullshit. Patriots, you guys are lucky. Good luck next year with the first place schedule, by the way. Yeah, you guys are gonna suck next year. I can't wait. Anyways, number 3, we got the Chicago Bears. The Bears, though, they beat the Eagles, and this team is good. I mean, very good. And Ben Johnson totally changed his team around. This team is very good. And been so far been good. They beat the Eagles. They were on a heater. They were gonna face on the Packers. So that's a very good game. That honestly, the NFC North, it's gonna be a fight between the Bears and Packers. Whew. Can't wait for that. Overall, it's gonna be a good game. And a good time for Chicago. Enjoy being at number 3 because depending who wins, they might be higher, they might be lower than last week or this week. At number 2, we got the Seattle Seahawks. They just dominated the Vikings. Honestly, I don't think Sam Darnold didn't do anything. The defense carried the Seattle squad. They're overall a pretty good team. They're a good team, but I mean, again, they got the defense carried Sam Darnold because again. Guess who's giving the ball? I think, Max Bosmeyer probably had more touchdowns than Sam Darnold. I know, right? To the Seahawks, because Max threw a pick 6 in 4 picks. Meanwhile, Sam Darnold, he just had a quiet game. JSN only has 38 yards, which is not good for him. He wants to try to break that record, Calvin Johnson record. Yeah, that's gonna be difficult. And then at number 1, we got the Denver Broncos. I didn't want to put the Broncos back up here. I know at one point, yeah, they were at number 1. I didn't want to put the Broncos at number 1, but honestly, all of these teams, they're the only teams with 2 losses. And who's the other team with 2 losses? The Patriots. Do the Patriots deserve to be up here? No, because they got a fucking cupcake schedule and the referees were helping them. The Broncos, they actually deserve the wins, and they actually owned it. They don't have fucking cupcake schedules and bullshit referees. So overall, the Broncos, they're a good team. They're dominating. Their defense is good. Bo Nix is starting to look good. Again, this is the end of the season, so honestly, it's gonna be pretty good. It's gonna be pretty interesting. Anyways, that is gonna wrap up my video. So hopefully you enjoyed it. A like and subscribe, and I'll see you in another video. Goodbye.